Hello and welcome, as this is the 23rd day of December 2018. And there's four plays I like in the NHL today. It'll be home teams laying a goal and a half in every single game. Although there'll be situations I'll lay a goal and a half on the road team. None tonight, though, or this afternoon. There's no games this afternoon I'm playing. This is how the going into like November 21st ish, and that was the day where every game won but one. It was pretty sick how on zero indicates loss, one indicates win. You usually lose, but the payouts are so great that you don't need to win more than you lose. But on the 21st day of November, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the first 10 games won, and the last one was a loser. And they were good prices too. 2.5 to 1 odds, a couple times, 3 times here, another 2.5 here, 2 to 1, 2 to 1. There were a lot of big prices that are available, which is today. There's a chalk play, and I'm taking it, but the rest got good prices. One's got a medium price. So therefore, let's go over the games. I'm going to be very selective on the games I play, and some statistics as well. We got first Columbus at New Jersey. Columbus on the road is 10-6 on the season. They are 4-12, winning by 2, which means 4 of their 10 wins are by 2 goals and 6 are not. They're 12-4, covering the plus 1.5. So they've lost 4 of their 6 games by 2. New Jersey 9-7 on the pick'em. 6 of their 9 games were won by 2, 3 were not, and they're also very good on the plus 1.5. Columbus is 12-7 the last 5, and they're too good on this 1.5. They're 12-7. They've scored 12. They've allowed 7. Their defense is way too good for me to even consider taking the New Jersey Hockey Devils. And I know that's whatever. No play there. Boston is in Carolina. Boston is 7-12 on the road, 3-16, winning by 2 goals or more. So 3 by 2, 4 by single goals. 13-6, covering the 1.5. Carolina 8-11 on the season at home, so they're losing overall. Normally, when you see an 8-11 home team versus a 7-12 road team, the road team should be a small favorite of some sort. But even still, 6-13, winning by 1, 2 goals or more. So 6 of their 8 wins are by multiple goal fashion. However, Carolina's playing like shit right now with 8 losses in their last 10. And 1-3 on the 1.5 the last 3 home games. So as the record was 13-2, so they weren't quite as strong. But Boston played an afternoon game, but have only won 3 of their last 7 road games by 2. And I'm just gonna pass on this game. It's on the road. I really want like the Tampas and the Torontos more so on the road, and the good matchups. Yesterday I had Pittsburgh, Winnipeg, and Tampa on the road, and 2 of those 3 teams won. And I would play that same spot today and tomorrow, although I won't play any spot tomorrow. And another thing of note too is in the holidays, Christmas and All-Star break. At the end of Christmas, I am very strong on momentum on the final day, which is today, before the holiday. And coming off of the break, I'm not so big, but barely on momentum. All-Star break, as you exit into the All-Star break, I'm okay with momentum, but I really throw it off after the All-Star game. Same with baseball, too. Big more so with baseball. But with this game here, Florida-Chicago. Florida is 7-11 on the road. Chicago 7-11 at home. And 3 of the 7 wins by Florida by multiple goals. 4 of the 7 by multiple. I mean, you don't see too much here. But thing is, the statistics say no. At the start of the season, if you would have told me, yeah, Chicago, because Chicago is coming into the season. It was a great spot. Both teams are hot. That's the problem. Had Florida not played the way they had the last 4 games, and they've played fantastic, it would be a huge spot to play the Chicago Blackhawks in this game. And especially since Chicago, who has struggled all season long, are showing signs of life. But because of that, I'm going to pass this game, and now we're going to get into some plays. The next one, and there will be a play on this Philly Rangers game. Philadelphia 7-10 on the season. 6 of their 7 games that they've won by multiple goals. So definitely the idea that if you ever want to play both teams, but no. Covering the 1.5, they're 9-8. That's not that means they're losing. Most of the time they lose on the road. They lose by 2. The fact that they're barely winning a spread, they should be. I mean, you should be crushing this line. Like, I mean, not as bad as the Rangers are here, 16-2, but you got to be crushing that line. Rangers 11-7 on the pick'em, 7-11 at -1.5. That means 7 of their 11 wins have been by multiple goals. This is the first time, however, they are playing a home game after a road game the night before. But Philadelphia is going to be on a tired schedule as well. And mathematically, the plus 227 price, if you win it 33% of the time, you're profiting. And I think it's going to be higher than that. So it's a play. Detroit and Toronto. Detroit is 7-10 on the road. And only 3 of their 7 wins by multiple goals. They are 11-6 covering the puck lines. So basically half of the time they make it, they don't. Toronto, 11-6 on the puck line and 9-8. They're actually over 500 on this. When you can have a 500 record on the -1.5, you're a really good team. And if you have a losing record on the +1.5, you're a really bad team. Well, they're a really good team. 9-8, which means 9 of their 11 games that they've played at home, and even for that matter on the road, it's their. I should have taken. I mean, I did win with Toronto last night because of how I played it, but I should have taken Toronto to lay a goal and a half yesterday, and they won it. It was the same thing as today, a chalk line. Detroit is cold right now. They're not playing well at all. And given that this is a Christmas break, this is a really, really good spot. Toronto should destroy Detroit tonight. I'm expecting. I mean, when the breaks go on, I'm not gonna play Detroit and Toronto the same way. We'll see if they come a bit back to life. But Toronto is 3-0 with outscoring their opponents 18-6 over the last 3 games. Well, they lost at home to these Detroit Red Wings not so long ago on December the 6th. So you have a revenge spot, and I take revenge spot. Depends on the situation, but here I'm taking it very seriously. So I really do think that it works for 2 ways, because Toronto's pissed off at these guys and they want to get them after what happened last time. And then there's a good chance that Detroit will be even more overzealous, which is the reason why when teams are somewhat cold, they're not in a playoff run like Detroit, that they just want to get home to the holidays and that kind of stuff. And home teams are really big on this night too, so I really don't want to play too many road teams, period, this night to begin with. So play Toronto, and I'm doing -110 the line. Despite the chalk, it's much greater than 50% that they destroy them. If there's a good price line at -2.5 and I didn't find one, then there's probably a good bet there as well. It's not the LA Dodgers, it's the LA Kings. But the Los Angeles Kings on the road are 5-12, and they are 2-15, winning by 2 goals or more. So Kings are 9-8 on the 1.5 line, and the fact that they're almost under 500 there, they are a bad team. Vegas 11-5 at home. 9 of their 11 wins, like Toronto, same sort of deal. They win most of them by such a number. They've only lost 3 of their 5 games at home by multiple digits, and the play is on Vegas. It's just too obvious not to, and there's nothing. I mean, LA is a garbage team. They're just not that good. Arizona, San Jose. Arizona 8-9 on the money line on the road, but 4-13 as a 1.5 goal favorite. So half the time they win by 2, half the time they don't. 11-6 on the puck line. So that means that they lose more often by 2. Well, they've got 8 wins here, so they go. It's 3 more, so 3-3. So it's half the time they win by 2, half the time they lose. It's a 50-50 split with Arizona, and they're a lower scoring team. San Jose, they are much better, and Arizona is just as good. I mean, their home record is. It's not good. So a lot of times good or decent teams can have an 8-9 road record and like a good home record, but not Arizona. They're probably not that good of a team. San Jose 11-7 on the money line on home games, but 7-11 on the 1.5, which means 7 of their 11 wins are by 2 goals or more, and they're very good at covering the plus 1.5, or not really, it's 50-50, but Arizona won yesterday, but before that, they lost 7-8 and 0-3. Being outscored 2-8 to 2 the last 3 games. Therefore, the situation here is after a bad run and you got a win, now how do you do? Sort of like if you have an 8-game winning streak or something like that and you lose. After the next game, I'm still not going to revert the trend after them coming off a win. Arizona's coming this game cold as I'm concerned. But looking at this game even further, San Jose has lost 2 in a row after winning 5 in a row and 7-8. So they had that last game off that spot and they didn't win. So that really fades their streak away. But the problem here is Arizona's very defensive, but they have lost many of their last road defeats. They're just playing bad. They're really a bad team. How much of their early success and goal and defensive play is that of early variance? We'll see. But given the Sharks are minus 233 on the money line, and you're going to be getting just a very small price, barely getting over even odds on the puck line, I'm going to pass this game. Final game, I think. It might be another one. I think it is the final, though. Islanders on the road, 9-9. And they're 5-13, so 5 of their 9 wins are by multiple facets. 10-8 covering the puck line, which means when they lose, they've only once lost by 1 goal. And actually, that was in overtime, too. So maybe they're just really bad with the empty net. And that's what you want when you're playing these types of teams. You want to go against teams that suck on empty nets and are good when they have... the Leafs are really good at scoring empty net goals, as one example. So you play those teams. And I'm not too sure how many of these wins are because of Dallas empty net goals. But 8 of their 11 are by multiple facets. And 3 of their 5 losses are by multiple facets. So, yeah, that's the last play. And the play is Dallas. And you're getting like 2-1 odds on them. So this is a fantastic price, to say the least. And thank you for tuning in to today's video. And I'm going to continue on more on this really quickly. Again, for myself, I am betting 9, this exact strategy. So 9%. A little less, but only like 10-15% less on the Leafs because of the chalk. But same way, I'm trying to win 9% of my bankroll. So the higher the price, the less that I bet. And as I finish this off today and move into the Christmas break, I'm going to do a bit more within these stats, see how they do with different rakes, as well as just on a linear fashion, always betting 1 unit per game. And that's really a good variant to go by on how well a run lasts. Because this type of move is creating volatility, which, if that's what you like, I do, then that's really how you play it. And the more aggressive your number is, then the more aggressive the up or down moves is. And using a percentage like this, where you increase your bets when you win, decrease them when you lose, then you're going to have these wild swings. And if you go on a sustained bad streak, this streak here that went down, it went sideways with small gain and had a good run, so it didn't sustain the down move. This one here, obviously, that winning 11 in a row is a good run. So as long as it can sustain the down runs, it's going to work out. But when they don't, that's when you can have problems where you can be winning your picks long-term linearly and actually be down. But the contrary to such is you can make phenomenal gains like the crypto markets can have as well by doing such. And I'm showing, and I like to do it this way, the simple strategy like I do with the markets, where just always bet 20% here and 15% down this, bet this X amount here. And it's all mathematical that a spreadsheet and calculator can do. And so is this. But what I'm doing, obviously, as you can see, is I'm looking at the situations and I'm going to be a little more selective with the plays. But as a gambler, I like how I say that, like as a trader, when I look at games and I see a game that I like, I really have to like it a bit more because like minus 110 bets on each side, I have to ensure that it's really good. And if it's something I barely like, I can't play it. in this case, if I barely like the puck line, I can play it. And I barely like which of the three, I guess on the early ones, uh, Vegas I like pretty okay. Toronto's pretty good. I barely like the Rangers only because of the fact that, well, they're not a good team, but they play well enough at home. So, anyway, take care. Have yourself a great day. Bye bye.